Altos is brought to you with the kind compliments of Rituals, Coffee House and Belgrose Funeral Home.
Good evening and welcome to Altos, a production of the Catholic News and broadcast on Trinity TV and TGT. I'm your host, Neil Parsonlal. Here's a look at what's ahead on our show this week. Pope Leo accepts the resignation of Bishop Clyde Harvey from the Diocese of St. George's in Grenada. We'll be telling you who is taking over from him. The Catholic Education Board of Management offers condolences on the death of 12-year-old Aryan student Mercedez Layne. Caribbean and Latin American church leaders meet in Trinidad. The papal nuncio offers words of encouragement. And hundreds, including clergy, turn out for the St. Andrew Kaggwa Church 5K in San Fernando. And later we learn more about the upcoming God at Work conference. And now for our top story. Before we do that, just before we came on set, we were told, happily so, that the monstrance that was previously stolen at the church in Mukarapu, in St. James Mukarapu, has been returned. It was found on the steps of the church this morning. Thanks be to God. Now for our top story. Pope Leo XIV has accepted the resignation of Clyde Martin Harvey as Bishop of St. George's in Grenada. Canon law compels bishops and archbishops to offer their resignation to the Holy Father when they turn 75 years of age. According to a news release from the Diocese of St. George's in Grenada, Bishop Harvey had initially offered his resignation in November 2023 to the late Pope Francis. That resignation was not accepted, and instead, Pope Francis asked Bishop Harvey to remain in office until January 31st, 2026. A year ago, following the death of Pope Francis, Pope Leo was elected, and he has now accepted Bishop Harvey's resignation on June 9th. According to the news release, Archbishop Gabriel Malzay of Castries St. Lucia has been appointed Apostolic Administrator of the Diocese of St. George's in Grenada until a new bishop is appointed. The Catholic Education Board of Management, CEBM, is profoundly saddened and distressed by the death of 12-year-old Mercedez Layne, a pupil of St. Francis Aryan RC Primary School. Mercedez's body was discovered last Sunday at Carapal Road, Aryan. She had been reported missing after failing to return home from visiting her grandfather in Rancho Quemado. Laura Pickford-Gordon shares the response of the Catholic Board.
Father David Kahn, Vicar for Education and Chief Executive Officer of the Catholic Board, said the loss of a child in such a tragic and cruel manner has shocked and grieved the board, which was praying with others for her safe return.
Our heartfelt condolences, prayers and support are extended to her family, as well as to the school and church communities that are mourning this devastating loss. We hold in a special way her grandfather and all those who were close to her during this painful time.
Father Khan said the CEBM's Quality Assurance Manager visited the school to assess present needs and determine what additional support is required for staff, students, and families. He added that the board is committed to supporting the affected school community and will continue working with all stakeholders to provide the necessary care, guidance, and assistance during this time of profound grief and healing. Father Kizito Ameleku, on behalf of the parishioners of St. Francis of Assisi Aryan, also offered condolences.
St. Francis RC in Aryan, the population is not much, so all the children, I am familiar with them, of course. Every now and then I meet them at Mass and I walk to the school, I go to greet all of them. So I know Mercedes very well. So Mercedes was a very, very quiet girl. She's described as being a shy person, but at that, she had this very simple, very good spirit that everybody around her was always very happy and she was supportive of her friends. I was in the school on Monday and some of the friends of Mercedes and some of the classmates were really in a mess. We've been trying to console them, but it's really, really, really heartbreaking and sad.
This is Laura Pickford-Gordon for the Catholic News, Altos.
And we offer our condolences as well. The Board of Management of Holy Name Convent in Port of Spain has responded to recent community concerns surrounding current principal, Dominican Sister Rennie Hall, by establishing a professional care unit for emotional support and a confidential online portal for those wishing to share their experiences. Both are now active. Meanwhile, an independent review committee, first announced weeks ago, has now been formally established. Clyde Harvey tells us more.
The Board of Management of Holy Name Convent, Port of Spain, has now engaged the Samaritan movement, led by Father Gerard J. McGlone, to provide a professional care unit. This unit offers voluntary, confidential, emotional, and psychological support to current students, faculty, staff, parents, and other community members. It operates completely separate from any investigative process. A confidential submission portal managed by Lucent Research is also now open. Individuals can share concerns or experiences securely online. The portal will remain open until July 10th. An independent review committee, first announced several weeks ago, has also now been formally established. It is chaired by governance professional Vincent Pereira and includes attorney Raphael Ajodia, retired Principal Paula Moses, attorney Francis Bain Cumberbatch, and clinical psychologist Isolde Ali Gent Garcia. The committee will operate independently of both the board and the school administration. The board is urging the public to allow the review committee and care unit to carry out their work independently. A final report from the committee is expected before the new school term begins in September. I am Clyde Harvey for Catholic News, Altos.
A week-long regional meeting of church leaders from across Latin America and the Caribbean wraps up today in Trinidad. The gathering was hosted by the Latin American and Caribbean Episcopal Council, CELAN, and the Antilles Episcopal Conference. Altos reporter Kaylin Jordan has more in this story.
The meeting opens on Monday with Mass at the Seminary Chapel at Mount St. Benedict. In his homily, the Apostolic Nuncio to Trinidad and Tobago and the Antilles, Archbishop Santiago de Witt Guzman, acknowledged the real challenges facing the church mission in the region.
I know how much difficult the mission can become. Social degradation, economic politics, the lack of understanding in many times, and the feeling that sometimes we need a kind of a word of consolation.
The nuncio offered a message of encouragement, reminding church leaders that even in the face of difficulty, their mission must remain rooted in trust and reliance on God.
It's true that in this ministry, in this responsibility, we need to know and we need to believe that we can rely on God, that we can find our kind of rest in Him.
Throughout the week, participants engage in prayer and dialogue with sessions focused on the region's social, economic, cultural, and environmental realities. On Wednesday, delegates took part in pastoral visits to local initiatives, including the Archbishop Anthony Pantin Vocational School and the Credo Foundation. They also toured the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception and celebrated Mass in the crypt. I am Kaylin Jordan reporting for Catholic News, Altos.
95 students of Todd's Road RC Primary School were officially inducted into the Heritage Keepers Club just 1 week ago, becoming the first primary school students in Trinidad and Tobago to join the initiative. The program, spearheaded by the National Trust of Trinidad and Tobago, is already inspiring students to take pride in preserving the history and culture of their communities. We hear now from some of the young heritage keepers about what the experience means to them.
The innovative program of the National Trust has sparked the interest of students who are eager to preserve the rich heritage of their community and country. For Janique Ramnanan and Malik Modest, being a part of the club has brought a strong sense of pride and an opportunity to learn more about their nation's history.
I feel so proud of achieving this in this club. It is a huge accomplishment for me, and I would like to learn more about my community in my secondary journey.
I feel proud to be a member of the Heritage Keepers Club, as we are the first school in Trinidad and Tobago to be part of this. I learned about the history of the small community and stuff I didn't know in the past.
Also expressing her gratitude for the opportunity was Sadia Parmanan.
It was a very big accomplishment for me to be able to participate in the Heritage Keepers Club because it will help me when I go to secondary school and begin my new journey there. I would like to thank the members of the Heritage Keeper Club for bringing this to me so I could be able to join it.
In preparation for the launch of the club, students participated in a wide range of activities aimed at documenting and preserving their heritage. For Araya Maharaj, that meant collecting photographs of herself and of important landmarks within her community.
This is when I first started school. The school, the community center, and the bridge.
Kyla Barron and her friends, all first-year students, summed up their experience in 2 words.
Red.
And how do their teachers feel about this project and student involvement?
Red.
I am Dale Sedino, reporting for Catholic News, Altos.
Beautiful. Give yourselves a clap.
And that was real good. The Catholic Charismatic Renewal Rally 2026 took place at the Center of Excellence on Sunday, May 31st, and all the speakers delivered their messages with an urgent tone. Under the theme, Rise Up and Walk, speakers challenged the faithful to wake up from their slumber and expand their understanding of spiritual warfare. Clisha Best has more.
Faithful gathered for the annual Charismatic Renewal Rally to hear messages from a powerful lineup, which included Sister Deborah de Roussier, Archbishop Charles Jason Gordon, and Sean Julian. Father Dwight Merrick and Brother Basil Stroud brought a timely and yet uncomfortable message of spiritual warfare. Father Merrick noted that believers too often focus only on personal ailments, while Satan works through corrupt economic and political systems.
We are not fighting against flesh and blood. We are fighting with the spiritual weapons of warfare. We already have the power. We already have the power, but we have to first know what the situation is. This is why I'm saying all this. You have to know that is going on. So, like me, up to recently, you don't just assume that these people in high places know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, yes, to suit themselves. But that is Satan. It's not men and women, we're fighting against. The enemy is only Satan.
Brother Basil urged Catholics to use the Word of God as a weapon and to pray for the gift of discernment to recognize the enemy's traps in their own lives and in the world.
We are the army of the Lord. We have been anointed for warfare. We have been called, chosen, and given gifts to fight against Satan and his minions. That's what we are called to do.
Father Merrick prayed for the Lord to shake whatever has sat comfortably in us, but is not of us, while Brother Basil called on Catholics to speak God's word, saying that when we arm ourselves with God and his word, we become very dangerous. I am Clisha Best for Catholic News, Altos.
Presentation College San Fernando student Gavin Wagner won the inaugural St. Andrew Kaggwa 5K road race last Saturday in San Fernando. As Rogersan tells us, more than 400 persons turned out to take part in this event.
Participants enjoyed a light aerobic warm-up before the race got started at 6 in the morning. On the roadway, the race got going just outside San Fernando Central Secondary School on a wet and overcast Saturday morning. The eager runners and walkers had to negotiate some damp conditions as they made their way onto Lady Hales Avenue. The course saw participants enjoy a nice view of a calm Gulf of Paria. And they made their way towards King's Wharf before a U-turn to head back to the school with the finish at the schoolyard. Wagner won in 17 minutes and 37 seconds, followed by Narvin Bihari.
I attend Presentation College San Fernando. The training leading up to this, I did a few long runs, did a little bit of speed work, and glory to God that I got the win.
Also competing and finishing were Carmelite sisters Sarah Waterman and Anne Joachim, and parish priest of the OLPH community, Father Matthew DeRoe. He took just over 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Because we are body, mind and soul, and I feel that this is a good start to get people fitter. The body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, and we have to take care of our bodies.
The overall ladies winner was Genesis Marchand in 22 minutes and 48 seconds. Overall, there were 443 5-kilometer finishers. A 1K race was also held for children. I'm Roger Sant for Catholic News Altos.
It's now time for us to take a short break, and when we return, we speak with Catherine Tardier, General Manager of CAMCEL, about the God at Work Conference. Stay with us. Thanks very much for staying with us. We're happy to have with us on set today Catherine Tardier. Catherine is the General Manager of CAMCEL, and CAMCEL is the parent company, so to speak, of everything Catholic media. But there's an excitement in the air. We have God at Work Conference 2026 coming up on the 27th of June. Yes? Tell us a little bit more about God at Work, that conference.
God at Work is at the Cascadia Hotel on the day of 27th. It's a full day of panel discussions, workshops, and speaker presentations that really are inviting us to deeper live our faith in our workplace. Catholic News really has a rich legacy, as we all know, and you know, it used to be easier for us to reach people because there were more people in churches, and I think our mission continues, and we want to meet people where they're at. And the workplace is definitely, I mean, most of us live a lot of our lives in the workplaces, so this is a really critical place to meet people and to help form people, you know, connect people in the community of other Christians who are also desiring to live their faith in the workplace. And so that's kind of where it was born, you know, bringing that to life.
And that's important because for many of us, or many of us believe that faith is only lived on Sunday or Saturday when we go to Mass, but faith is lived throughout the week.
Yeah.
Faith is lived every single day of our lives,
day.
wherever we find ourselves.
That's
but that's enough of me. I'll have enough to say on the 27th. But tell us, give us a rundown of the day itself.
Okay, so we start with Mass. Father Jesse Mengo is going to preside over Mass. And I think we go into our keynote speaker who's going to really give us an insight on the theology of work. Why do we work? What is the purpose of working? And there's really a deep richness there. We'll move into a very engaging panel discussion. Full disclosure, Neil is on our panel. So we really get to hear real life stories of people who are working in secular, you know, small and big businesses, of how they are living their faith. And I think last year's panel was fantastic, so we really expect this year to bring a lot of insight to people. After lunch, we move into workshops. So you can choose between AI or social, artificial intelligence or social, emotional intelligence, of course. And things like, we have a special segment for women as well on burnout. So it's all through the eyes of, the lens of faith, but bringing very practical and empowering sessions to life in the afternoon that actually help us to apply things in our workplaces and to help develop ourselves as well.
And I see on the panel, for instance, we have the featured speaker for the day is David Isidore.
Yes.
David will speak on the theology of work and why our work matters to God.
That's right.
And how we can bring, you know, our own faith experience to the workplace. Darren Mohammed, who is doing some fantastic work on artificial intelligence. Candice Clark, who is in her own way, you know, one of those pillars of the church. And so many others. The Deacon Bengoshi, who is also going to share, and Julie Joseph McSween, with an expert on emotional intelligence.
That's right.
We're going to be there with us. What can people hope to take away from the conference then?
I think we were having this discussion, and I think people also need to be reinforced that they are already, for most of us who desire this, we're already living our values. And sometimes we need to be reinforced in that, and being reinforced by hearing it from other people, being among a community of people who are desiring the same thing, and you share experiences and you feel really, you know, our parish is our community, but our work is also our community, and we have to live this where we're at. This is our ministry for many of us. And so I hope that people take that away, that I can live this I can form community. This could be my ministry wherever I am, and that there are other people also wanting to bring their faith into the workplace. And to be honest, it really is probably the most transformative thing we can actually do for our country. I mean, many of us are not called into politics, and we may not be called into grand things, but in every moment that we're called to transform the moment. And we do that when we're really rooted in our faith.
And you're right, because even if you're called into politics, you can still bring your faith to impact the politics. Catherine, tell us about the registration process. How do we go about doing that? Okay. Where can people register?
Right. Well, you'll see in the Catholic News this weekend a real big pullout if you want a lot of information. The registration link is also there, and a little more of a deep dive on the panelists and so on and the sessions. You can go to www.catholicnewstt.com, and you will see the banner there that will get you through to the registration page, with also some videos of last year too, if you want to take a peek of what that was like, because last year was our first and it was so well received. And I think that we really touched on maybe a gap that exists, you know, for those of us who, you know, we want to develop ourselves as professionals, as we want to do our best and bring our best foot forward. God desires success for us. And how do we do that? Through the lens of faith.
What's the registration fee?
It's $500. It comes with you know, food and beverages all day. You know, we have a lunch, we have breakout sessions that are catered and so on. And there will be booths, you know, so you can get some information from some of our sponsors. We have a gold sponsor, Kenson, and a couple other sponsors who are with us, Kuna Caribbean, it's all in there. And it really has been it promises to be a really full day. So I really do encourage everyone to come out, maybe encourage a colleague to come with you. I mean, I was really happy to see some young men last year, because we all know women flock to things, and sorry to say, but you know, it was really lovely to see some young men who were engaging with one another from one of the sessions last year of how that really helped them, and they were having conversations around, and I thought, you know, this is really important, and I'm really glad we're doing it again.
And I'm glad we are doing it again. Yeah. I was there last year, and it was a fantastic experience. And we really want to encourage everyone to register, to come out, to take part in the conference, look forward, because you too can share your faith wherever you are. It's not a question of divorcing our faith or spirituality from where we work. We take that faith and spirituality wherever we go, and that includes in the workspace. So look out for the God at Work conference. Catherine, thanks very much for joining with us.
Thank you,
we'll
Neil.
get a wrap up on the conference sometime after.
Definitely.
Yes?
We look forward to sharing that. Thanks, Neil.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Thanks very much for staying with us. We'll be right back.
In this Sunday's issue of the Catholic News, the editorial says every adult's responsibility is to protect our children from violence, exploitation, and those who would recruit them into criminality. Dollars and Cents columnist Finbar Garcia offers advice on making ends meet. And our God at Work supplement focuses on a second annual God at Work conference on June 27th at Cascadia Hotel in St. Anne's. Here are the clergy anniversaries for the week. And the coming events. I'm Raymond Sims, editor of the Catholic News.
For many Catholics, a solemn profession is a moment they may never witness. Last Sunday, 2 men from the Democratic Republic of Congo made a lifelong commitment to the Benedictine way of life at Mount St. Benedict. Andrew Burton was there and tells us more in this sponsored segment.
This sponsored segment of Altos is brought to you with the kind compliments of Belgrove's Funeral Home. We do more than just say we care.
For the Church, a solemn profession is a lifelong commitment to God.
What do you ask of God and of His Church?
After years of formation, brothers Yannick Kabi and Samuel Muhindo took their solemn vows as Benedictine monks.
We often hear it said that the wedding is one thing and the marriage is something else. Some people have lavish wedding receptions, but it is only after the honeymoon that the journey begins. The marriage has just begun. Today is the wedding.
For both men, that commitment began with a journey far from home. They left the Democratic Republic of Congo to join the Benedictine community at Mount St. Benedict.
Wow.
As you know, it's very complicated. It was complicated at the beginning. It was not easy, above all, I thank God for this call to monastic life.
While the profession belonged to the two monks, Abba John reminded the congregation that their families were part of the journey as well.
And I want to give their parents who may be listening on live stream, I want to send them some kisses with my mouth, which I hardly use. Kisses of love and gratitude. May God bless you all.
The celebration also highlighted a challenge facing many religious communities today, a decline in vocations.
We are only 7, so we need more and more vocations. So it is an opportunity for me to call and to ask those young men who feel that they can serve God in monastic life, that it is possible.
As they signed their vows, embraced their brother monks, and fought back tears, the day marked not the end of a journey, but the beginning of a new one. As Abba John reminded the congregation, today is the wedding. For brothers Yannick and Samuel, the journey of a lifetime has just begun. I am Andre Burton, reporting for Catholic News, Altos.
This sponsored segment of Altos was brought to you with the kind compliments of Belgrove's Funeral Home. We do more than just say we care.
Pope Leo XIV wrapped up his 7-day apostolic visit to Spain earlier today, celebrating Holy Mass at the port of Santa Cruz de Tenerife. During his week-long visit, he celebrated Mass for thousands in Madrid, visited centers for the homeless and migrants, and in Barcelona, he blessed the world's tallest church on Wednesday. Here's a wrap-up report.
It's a spectacular vision day or night, the Sagrada Familia towering above Barcelona. Welcoming Pope Leo, today marks 100 years since the death of visionary architect Antoni Gaudí. And 144 years after construction began, it's finally on the verge of completion. The final spire now making it the tallest church in the world. Tonight, the newly completed Tower of Jesus Christ, blessed by the American Pope. 120,000 people filling the streets.
Unbelievable, like breathtaking.
Words can't describe.
Yeah.
And a finale even Gaudí couldn't have imagined. Fireworks illuminating the sky, a drone show with Gaudí's face, a dramatic way to mark a symbolic milestone for a global icon. A symbolic milestone because there is still work to be done. The Basilica may not be truly completed until 2034. The Pope wraps up this Spanish trip in the Canary Islands this week.
And that's a wrap for our show this week. We wish to thank the person who returned the monstrance to our church. Very symbolic for us, very important. We thank you and we'll continue praying for you. We thank all of you for viewing. We encourage you to continue to nurture your faith by praying and reading the Bible. Let's also do our part to protect our nation's children. And as we leave, here's a look at some of the youngsters who took part in the St. Andrew Kaggwa 5K and 1K road race in San Fernando last Saturday. Do have a good week, everyone.
Altos is brought to you with the kind compliments of Rituals Coffee House and Belgrove's Funeral Home. We do more than just say we care.